morning, starting school this year will be retiring in 2065. Nobody has a clue, despite all the expertise that the world will look like in 5 years' time. And yet we're meant to be educating them for it. So it is that creativity now is as important in education as literacy. And we should treat it with the same status. Thank you. They discovered their talent. I'm fascinated by how people got to be there. It's really in Lynn. Have you heard of her? Some have. She's a choreographer and everybody knows her work. She did Cats and Phantom of the Opera. She's wonderful. Anyway, Jill and I had lunch one day. I said, how'd you get to be a dancer? And she said it was interesting. When she was at school, she was really hopeless. And the school in the 30s wrote to her parents and said, we think Gillian has a learning disorder. She couldn't concentrate, she was fidgeting. I think now they'd say she had ADHD. Wouldn't you? But this was the 1930s and ADHD hadn't been invented, you know, at this point, so it wasn't an available condition. You know, people weren't aware they could have that. Anyway, she went to see this specialist, so they turned on the radio that was sitting on his desk. And when they got out of the room, he said to her mother, just stand and watch her. And the minute they left the room, she said she was on her feet, moving to the music. And they watched for a few minutes, and he turned to her mother, and he said, you know, Mrs. Lynn, Gillian isn't sick, she's a dancer. Take her to a dance school. I said, what happened? He said, she did. I can't tell you how wonderful it was. We walked in this room, and it was full of people like me. People who couldn't sit still. People who had to move to think. Who had to move to think. They did ballet, they did tap, they did jazz, they did modern, they did contemporary. She was eventually auditioned for the Royal Ballet School. She became a soloist. She had a wonderful career at the Royal Ballet. She eventually graduated from the Royal Ballet School, found her own company, the Gillian and Dan, most successful musical theatre productions in history. She's given pleasure to millions, and she's a multi-millionaire. Somebody else might have put on medication and told her to calm down. Now, I think their whole being, so they can face this future. By the way, we may not see this future, but they will. And our job is to help them make something of it. Thank you very much.
Que el lado izquierdo del cerebro procesa la información de una manera especial, mira de una manera. El hemisferio derecho mira la información de una forma diferente. Cuando ambos cooperan, entonces se produce el fenómeno creativo y aflora nuestra inteligencia. Hace unos años el director del Instituto del Cerebro de Milán dijo que genio se nace y a imbécil se llega. Pero la gente se quedó sorprendida, una persona levantó la mano y dijo, oiga, ¿qué hay entre medias? Y dijo, el sistema educativo. ¿Qué es lo que pasa? Esto no es ni mucho menos una crítica a maestros, a profesores, a educadores. Es tomar conciencia de algo que necesita ser cambiado. Los estudios de creatividad de niños hasta los 5 años de edad, por supuesto estudios adaptados a su edad, revelan que el 98% de ellos son creativos. Les haces el mismo test a adultos adaptado a la edad, solo el 2%. El sistema que recompensa, el sistema que no se envuelve, no favorece lo que luego en la vida es lo que más estamos pidiendo, el ser creativos.